Welcome to the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. Are you over 40 and tired of struggling with your weight, dieting, and constantly feeling like you're starting over with nutrition and fitness? Do you wish you had more energy? Do you want to lose weight and finally keep it off for good? I'm Lil, a certified nutrition coach and former registered nurse. I too have been there, and at the age of 44, I decided I was done with fad diets and chasing a lower number on the scale. I was so tired of constantly starting over and wondering why I couldn't get lasting results. I became a nutrition coach and created the Feel Your Best formula for women who want to build muscle, lose fat, and keep it off for good. If you're ready to build a better relationship with food, the scale, and your body, let's build your formula for feeling your best. If you're new here, make sure to check the episode details for the link to my newbie starter guide. You'll receive an email straight to your inbox with everything you need to start building your Feel Your Best formula. I'm so glad you're here. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hi guys, welcome to the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. This is episode 8 and I'm so excited to be recording this today. I'm just coming back from winter break and I have to say it was really amazing. It was exactly what my family needed. We honestly didn't do a whole lot. We just did some nice relaxing things, spent a lot of time together. My kids did a ton of stuff with their friends. We celebrated my son's birthday. He had a sleepover and it was my birthday as well, since my birthday is right in between Christmas and New Year's. And I'm really sad that it's over, but I have to say I love the New Year's energy and getting back into a groove. And today, as much as I missed being on vacation, I was also really excited to just dive into my planner. I'm on day 2 of my workout program, just getting back into things. My broken ankle is almost fully healed. I'm kind of struggling with these sort of final steps of being fully healed, still struggling with some swelling and irritation, definitely not 100%. But I'm just going to do my best because I don't know about you, but the New Year's is just, I don't know, there's something in the air where everyone is just really excited for that fresh start. And today we're going to talk about things that are actually worth investing in, like what should you actually spend your money on when it comes to those health and wellness habits that everyone is talking about, thinking about this time of year. And maybe you're someone that is really gung-ho about New Year's resolutions and you just love to set new goals, or maybe you're the complete opposite. And I know a lot of people just can't stand resolutions and say, forget it, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. So regardless of where you stand on that, I hope that you find some value in today's episode, because I'll tell you, I've seen so many crazy things over the years that people spend money on when it comes to health and wellness. And I myself have certainly wasted money. So today I'm just going to share with you a list of what do I have here? I have 19 things that are actually worth spending your money on when it comes to health and wellness. And, you know, you may have differing opinions, or you may have something that you're really passionate about that I don't have on this list. So feel free to email me, lil@liliuslewis.com, or send me a DM on Instagram or whatever. I would love to start sharing various Q&A and feedback from you guys. I've been loving, honestly, I had tears in my eyes reading some of the feedback that you guys have for me. The number one thing that I can't get over is how many of you are just saying, you know, my voice is really good for podcasting, which is odd to me. I've always listened to my voice on recordings and thought I just sounded terrible. So thank you so much to those of you who have sent me that feedback. And if there's anything you want to hear on, this podcast or topics that you would love to have discussed on here, then just, reach out. And if it's something that I think would work well for the podcast, then I will try to fit it in. I'm still kind of finding my footing, I guess you could say. As you guys know, I started this podcast just kind of out of a tricky situation where I was on basically bed rest with this broken ankle, and finally just decided I was going to do this and start this podcast, because when was I ever going to have the time like I was given, working through that situation? And I haven't really thought about it. Like, am I going to have guests on here, or what is the format going to be? So I would love to hear from you guys. Do you like to listen to podcasts that have guests? Or do you prefer, just a podcast where you can tune in and you're going to be getting just, really great content and discussion on things that you can expect from the host? I know I personally have really just been attracted to podcasts where it is either one person or co-host that host the show every week, and maybe bring in every once in a while a very special and valuable guest. I personally am not a fan of podcasts where all they do is have guests and then you don't really quite get to know the host as well. So that's just me, but let me know what you think, because I can always get some guests on here and kind of change things up a bit. So, all right, enough about that. Let's dive in. So as I said, this is the time of year everyone's thinking about, New Year's resolutions, losing weight, and, stuff costs money. So what the heck are you going to spend your money on? I will also say something that, people don't talk about a whole lot, but there's a cost to everything. And I know a lot of people love to hop around from free offer to free offer, free group, free this, free that. And when I was a Beachbody coach and actively coaching, I would often offer free experiences for people, whether it was some sort of food-related group, nutrition-related group, meal planning group, or maybe a squat challenge or what have you. And I learned over the years that sometimes there's people that just never want to spend money on anything. They think, especially when it comes to health and wellness, just that everything should be free and they don't want to spend their dollars on it. But I want to bring up the point that literally everything has a cost, and we tend to think of cost as always being about dollars and cents or pounds and shillings. Wherever you're tuning in from, you have some sort of currency, and that's what we tend to think of when we say cost. But there are other costs. There's time, there's energy, there's frustration, there's health costs that we pay for, and maybe we don't see the monetary cost on these things. But sometimes when we're so resistant to actually put money into things, we are paying a way heftier price with time, energy, frustration, and just never getting to our goals because we don't want to invest in it. And I will say there is literally nothing more important than investing in your physical and mental health. I can think of so many people who, easily drop money, hundreds of dollars on a dinner, drinks, what have you, and then they will, wouldn't even want to spend the money to buy even one of the items that I have on this list here. So something to think about if you're someone that's always looking for free, or you're only looking at the monetary cost when it comes to health and wellness. Maybe think about what it's really costing you to not invest in something that's going to make your life easier. That's what I'm all about. Like, if something can make things easier, quicker, and just less stressful, then to me, that's where the value is in spending my money. Okay, so enough about that. Let's just get to my list. And these are not in any particular order. I wrote them all down. I put a lot of thought into it, but I didn't really put them in any order. So take them as they come. and I hope that you find it helpful. I do have different blog posts. I have blog posts on fitness equipment. If you go to the Start Here page on my blog, some of the items here are mentioned, and so you can specifically see the exact products that I'm talking about that I use, that I enjoy. So number one, this was the easiest thing. I was like, instantly, dumbbells. So I don't know about you, but I was very hesitant to buy at home gym equipment when I first started working out at home. I literally had one 10-pound weight, and then I had, I think, 5-pound weights. And I was like, I'm just gonna hold two 5-pound weights in one hand and then the 10-pound, and I'm going to figure it out. And I just didn't want to spend the money on it. I just thought to myself, it's not something that I really valued at the time. But then when I created consistency with my workouts, I just realized dumbbells are where it's at. You can do all the cardio in the world, you can do body weight exercises, but I will tell you, lifting weights is just so enjoyable for me. I mean, maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're like I was before I started, but now we have, I mean, if you watch my Instagram, every once in a while I show everything we have, but I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of weights. We have a half rack, like the whole 9 yards. But it all started with me just having those 3 little dumbbells and deciding to lift weights at home. And there's so many ways you can get started with different options that take up very little space. They have adjustable weights and stuff like that. But building muscle is so important. And it's just really a foundational habit that everyone can benefit from. So even just having a small set of dumbbells can be life-changing and definitely something worth investing your money in. The next thing I'm going to talk about is because I'm really inflexible. Even when I was a kid and I did dance and gymnastics, I was never very flexible. And as I've grown into adulthood, that's something that I've always kind of struggled with. So even when I'm doing yoga and stuff, I have learned that yoga blocks are so helpful. I use them, like I said, during yoga or any mobility workout where you're doing lunges or bending over and things like that. Yoga blocks can just really give you that better form, get you that better stretch, and you're not going to topple over like you might be if you're trying to just kind of make it work without them. And I think they are just so handy, and they're, I don't know, you can get them for around $10. They're really very cheap. In that same vein, I love my yoga strap, and when I really was struggling with back pain, and I still do off and on, a yoga strap is just a really great way to be able to stretch and hold stretches if you're not very flexible. So yoga blocks, yoga strap, definitely worth investing in. They're both really inexpensive, and they're also really, they don't take up any space whatsoever, like tiny, but you put it in a tiny box in your closet, you fit them under your bed, whatever. Like, they are just so worth it, because flexibility is really important, especially if you're lifting weights. You don't want to end up, not being able to touch your toes. Overall health is about strength, endurance, flexibility, and these are going to help you and make it easier for you to do those mobility and stretching. Okay, a really good pair of sneakers, you guys, it's so important. Especially if you're doing cardio, high impact stuff, and even weight training. It's just really important to have a quality sneaker. I just invested, because of my broken ankle, my podiatrist told me to invest in a few different styles of the Brooks running shoes. So I actually have walking shoes from Brooks that they're slightly orthopedic looking. I will say they're a lot better looking than the styles they used to have in the past that were incredibly supportive with the arch support and making sure, your foot isn't rolling around in there too much. And then when it comes to their workout shoes, they really are just the best. So I really like Brooks. I really like Asics, but I really recommend you can go to a running store and they'll sort of analyze the way you walk and set you up with a shoe that matches your needs. And sneakers can be expensive. You're probably going to be paying anywhere from $50, maybe on the lower end, to I think I paid close to $200 for one of my pairs. But when you think about it, it's really, really worth it. Your feet are the foundation for your body, so making sure that you're treating them right is really important. I personally never understood the whole barefoot thing. I mean, if that works for you, great, but I myself have terrible feet, and investing in high quality shoes is something that I always see as being valuable. Ladies, you gotta have a good sports bra. Having a good sports bra is going to increase your enjoyment of your workout. There is nothing worse than trying to do a workout and you're flopping all around, things are spilling out. It's just not fun. So definitely go out there and look for some really great sports bras. I've been getting mine from Amazon. I think it's like a 3-pack for $25 or something for the past few years. I have tried really expensive ones, and I personally don't really, see the value in spending a ton of money. But if you're someone that is really busty and really struggles, I know that there are some really great products out there that can really help you, because you don't want something that, isn't there's nothing you can really do. If you have big boobs, there's really nothing you can do about it. You don't want that to get in the way of you being able to take care of yourself. So invest in something that is going to make that less of a hindrance for you, for sure. I also have to say a smartwatch. My Apple Watch, if I was to make a list of the favorite things that I have purchased in the last 5 years, my Apple Watch would probably be maybe number one, to be honest. And I remember being really hesitant to get it, but as soon as I did, I just fell in love with it. Now, I definitely do not obsess about the actual numbers and the things that I track on my Apple Watch. I just use it as just more of information, a scale of, I was a little bit more active this day. I wasn't quite as active that day. I do like to hit my goals, but I don't stress about it. If you're someone that's going to be obsessive, if you have a history of maybe an eating disorder and tracking calories, or, where you were using excessive exercise to manage your weight, I definitely would not recommend it in that case. But if you're someone that just isn't really gonna develop any habits that might be detrimental to your mental health with it, then I definitely recommend it, because it just makes my life so much easier in so many ways. A smartwatch is so much more than just tracking calories and movements. I use it for my calendar. Recently, my husband, I got him an Apple Watch for Christmas, and he's been driving me a little bit crazy because he discovered the walkie-talkie feature on it. And even though he's at work today, he's been walkie-talkieing me. So there's all kinds of features. I mean, it would take a whole episode to even make a dent in everything you can do with an Apple Watch. But I will just say that I'm someone that has really found the value in it, and you can get refurbished ones for less money. Mine, I believe, is 3 or 4 years old, and it barely has a scratch on it. And I wear it every day and definitely bang it up a little bit. So definitely a worthy investment, in my opinion. My next one, going in line with the dumbbells, is actually lifting gloves. Now, a few years back, probably 6 or 7 years ago, when I very first started lifting weights and started taking that a little bit more seriously, my husband got me lifting gloves as part of my birthday gift, and I just love them. I don't like the feeling of my bare hands on metal. I don't like that kind of metallic smell that your hands, I don't know if I'm being weird here, but no, I don't like it. I don't want to get calluses. And I just find lifting gloves helpful in multiple ways. If you're using resistance bands or other workout equipment, it just makes it so much easier to grip. So I've tried different ones, and the Harbinger, I'm not sure how to pronounce it off the top of my head, brand is for sure the brand that I think is best. I think I'm on my third pair, and it's like a mix of leather and some stretchy sort of material. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but the Harbinger brand is definitely my favorite. When it comes to nutrition, I'm a big fan of protein powder. Now, there's so many different ones out there. You can just use whatever one you like the taste of. I know you might need to kiss some frogs along the way. Some protein powders don't taste very good, can be gritty. I personally use the Beachbody Recover. I really like the orange. That's probably my favorite, and the vegan chocolate are my two favorites. But there's so many. You just want to make sure it has 20 grams of protein and you like the flavor. But it just is really quick and easy, a great way of getting protein in. Protein is so important, and it can be one of the more difficult macronutrients to get in. Really easy to get the carbs and fats in, right? But protein can be a little bit harder. That's where you're looking at hard-boiled eggs, yogurt, things like that. And protein powder is just a really quick and easy way to have some more protein in your life. My next item here is a nutrition tracker app. So I've used a few over the years. I would say my least favorite, and I know tons of people like it. This is just my opinion. I do not care for the MyFitnessPal app. That's one that I used years ago. I tried again to use it last year, and for whatever reason, the interface, I did not really enjoy it. I don't remember which other ones I tried, because I did try a few, and then I finally landed on the Lose It app, and I do the paid version. I love it. It's so easy to use. They have so many foods in there. You rarely have to manually plug anything in. So I think it was maybe $30 for the year to invest in the full version, and I actually ended up paying to get, I have it for life now, so maybe it was $50 or something like that to get the lifetime membership, which is what I did with that because it's so handy. Another really good one is Cronometer, which is the free version of that, is really, really good. It will track your macronutrients for you. It has all different types of food in there. So Lose It and Cronometer are my favorites. I do the paid version of Lose It, and you could do the free version of Cronometer. That's all I've used. I did not pay for the upgrade, but those are two really good ones. And maybe there's one you've heard of. I mean, there's so many options out there. The next thing, and I would say this is almost up there with my Apple Watch, but my earbuds. So wireless earbuds. I cannot tell you how much I use them every single day. I use them for listening to podcasts, for sending voice memos to people. Not having the wire is just so nice. You can just leave your phone wherever in your house, and you can walk all around your house and have your earbuds in and still be listening to maybe YouTube videos or podcasts or whatever. I just find it so helpful, and it's something that I definitely feel I get my money's worth. I often wear my earbuds while I'm doing my workout, and I listen to a podcast, and then I don't really listen to the workout video. So wireless earbuds for sure. Next up, you guys, if you follow my recipes, I love my air fryer. I'm just saying, if you don't have an air fryer, go get one. End of story. Best thing ever. A personal trainer. So if you are unsure about working out and you aren't really sure what to do, you're worried about working out at home, that you wouldn't be doing things correctly, then invest in a personal trainer, even if it's just once a week for, I don't know, certain, like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, something like that. That is something that can be so worth your money. I'd be really careful to make sure that you get someone who's the right fit for you, but they can help you really learn how to gain confidence with your form, and it can just be a really great resource for you. I had a personal trainer very briefly, probably 10 years ago. I did small group personal training, which is a more cost-effective way too, where maybe they'll coach 3 people at once, which can be a really nice option. But it's just a really great way to make sure that you can gain some confidence in lifting weights. I think would be really important, just learning proper form and things like that. And then you can take that knowledge with you and, go to group training classes or work out at home, which is what I do. In line with that is a weight bench. I am a big proponent of working out at home. I think it's really important to make your home the center of your wellness. And if going to the gym works great for you, you never have a problem getting there, it's just really streamlined into your life, then that's great. I personally don't really know a lot of people where that is the reality. And I love working out from home and feel like investing in a home gym and home gym equipment is just so important. But having a weight bench, game changer when it comes to lifting weights, being able to use it for more than just lifting weights, using it for dips or push-ups, all kinds of things. And there's so many different weight benches out there. You don't really have to spend a ton of money. You can get them for around $100. We have a more expensive one at our house here, and then we have one that I think cost me $105 at our house in New Hampshire. And I just think it's the best use of money. If you're serious about getting stronger and you're going to set up a home gym, make sure the weight bench is part of it. The one we have in New Hampshire actually folds flat, so you can put it under a bed or maybe even a couch or up against a wall or something like that. So again, it's not going to take up much space. Additionally, a treadmill or elliptical can be a really great way to get your steps in, just get some movement in, especially if you're like me and you live in a colder climate. I personally really struggle with getting outside for walks when it gets colder. I'm really worried about slipping on the ice. They don't always do the best job clearing sidewalks and roads here. There aren't sidewalks everywhere, that I walk, and it can be pretty treacherous. So having the elliptical has been really important to me, where I can just go down stairs, do like 20 to 30 minutes and just get that movement in. I'm not really thinking of it as a workout, but just more, getting that movement in for myself each day. For treadmills, now they have walking pads, which take up very little space. And again, a great way to get your steps in. You can even put them in your office or, just a tiny corner in your house, watch a TV show and just get that movement in. Next, we have resistance bands. I absolutely love resistance bands. When I was in physical therapy for my back, they use a lot of resistance bands if you've ever been in physical therapy. And I really like the ones that are more like cloth. They're basically a big elastic. They're not those rubber ones. I don't love. I'm talking about the loops, not the ones with the handles on them. The rubber ones that are the loops, they ride up on you. I've broken them before, gotten slapped. If it breaks, it comes back at you and slaps you in the face. The elastic ones are not going to do that, and I just think they're more comfortable. So that's something that I really love. What's next here? Investing in a nutrition program, hiring a registered dietitian, or just buying some books on nutrition that are good quality. Nothing that's gonna create fear for you, not things that are demonizing food groups for you or promising you that their wacky diet is going to, cure you of all your ailments, but instead books that just give you robust information on macronutrients, how your body processes energy. My personal favorite is Master Your Macros by Brianne Freeman, and I have a link to that on my Start Here page. But in addition to helping you calculate your macros, the book is just full of science-based information, just helping you understand how food works in your body and how it fuels you and how you can be full and satisfied and lose weight, gain muscle, whatever you want to do. That book, I think, is just a really great foundational information for anyone who wants to learn more about nutrition. Next investment, get a good water bottle. If you do not have a nice reusable water bottle, I definitely love my Yeti, and I also have one that's the brand Reduce. And I remember we went to Six Flags and I left my ice water. This was, I think, in August. Left my ice water in the car, when we got there at probably 9 or 10 a.m. And at the end of the day, after it being in 80 to 90, it was so hot that day. It was so unpleasant being at the amusement park, things we do for our kids, right? And I remember getting back in my car, and I have a black car sitting in the sun all day, and my ice water was still cold. And that was amazing. I was so excited. I was like, wow, this thing really works. But a Yeti or a Reduce, I've had an awesome experience with both of those. Number 18, we're almost at the end of the list, guys. This is a little bit longer episode than I normally do. But investing in mental health support, it's so important. Your mental health and your physical health are intertwined. They are connected. If you are struggling with your mental health, it's going to be really hard to get on track with your physical health and really take care of your body the way that you need to. And if your physical health is causing you pain, with your mental health, then you can work with a mental health professional and help just get your stuff figured out, work on it. If you have anxiety, depression, anything that's holding you back from living your best life, don't resist seeking out mental help any way that you would resist seeking help with illness or any physical ailment that you had. It's just so important. And, insurance does cover certain things. It just depends, this is America, so it's, kind of a crapshoot what your insurance may or may not cover. But there are other options out there. I personally use an app called Bloom. This is not sponsored or, I'm not getting any money for saying this. But this app called Bloom really helped me over the past year. It's just incredible. It's just Bloom. It's a cognitive behavioral therapy app, and it just is really great. And there's so many topics you can cover on there. And I don't remember how much it is. I think it's like $15 a month or something like that. But that was a perfect fit for me. And seeking out a professional is so worth it. It really is just a great investment in yourself if you're struggling at all with your mental health. Number 19, the final thing we're going to talk about here is investing in a planning system. So having a planner that you actually use that really, really works for you, and we're all different. However your brain works, find something that works for you, whether you want to go all digital, whether you want to use handwritten. I personally use a hybrid. I talked on last week's episode about how I organize my life, but invest in planning. I know when I first looked at my planner and saw, I don't even know how much it is. Maybe it's $40 for a quarterly planner. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so much money is to be spending, over $100 a year on a planner. Well, I'll tell you, the money that gives back to you, your time, your energy by being organized and planning is just so important. So if you have not tried more robust planning systems, I definitely recommend going out, looking at different planners out there. And it's for your health and wellness, because how else are you going to schedule your life, plan your meals, plan your workouts, plan how you're going to have your downtime, relax and recharge is through a planner. So I really recommend investing in a good planner. So that's it. I feel like this episode was kind of all over the place, and it's definitely my longest episode yet. But I feel like it's really important to remember that you are the best investment you will ever make. And taking care of yourself, your physical health, your mental health is just something that you will never, ever regret. So I hope that you enjoyed these ideas. I will go ahead and put in the show notes the link to the pages on my blog that I referenced and some additional information. So thank you so much for listening. I will be here next week with you. And I think that's it. Have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. If you haven't already, make sure to check the episode details for my new listener starter guide, and any additional resources mentioned in the episode can also be found in the show notes on my website. You can always find me on Instagram at Macros with Lil, and for more healthy lifestyle tips, recipes, and information on my one-to-one and group coaching services, make sure to check out my website. All the links can be found below. If you know someone else who is ready to start building their formula for feeling their best, please share the love and send them the link to the podcast. I hope you found today's episode helpful, and I'll see you back here next week for a brand new one.